So now let's go ahead and look at the hinge system. I thought the hinge would do today would be a stack the deck hinge system, because the other pocket album I did a hidden hinge, so I thought we'd do a stack the deck today. I've already gone ahead and covered my cereal box. This is the cereal box covering I've done. I've done a tutorial on this. I'll leave a link below for that as well. So we've done the covering the cereal box, so you know how to do that. So just choose your cereal box of choice. The one I've got here today has got, I think it's a 2-inch. Yes, the one I've got here today has got a 2-inch spine on it. Okay, so then I know I can get 4 pages in this album quite nicely. So as I say, I've decorated my cereal box. I've brought the papers right in because I'm going to use the stack the deck hinge system. So what we're going to do with this is I've cut an extra piece for this, and you'll see as we make it, to go on the edge there, and then we'll make the hinge system. But I will show you how we're going to do that. So on this album, I've covered it with some little metal embellishments on the outside cover. I've used some metal embellishments and I've put a little butterfly. Now, believe it or not, let me lay it down flat so you can see. Believe it or not, these were actually, I'll show you, these were actually this colour, which didn't really go with my album. As you can see, they're the wrong colour totally that I wanted to fit in. And because I'd picked the little gems here and the silver and the purling on here, I wanted to make them silver. And the way I've done that is with a product called Treasured Gold. This is called Treasured Gold, even though this is silver, but Treasured Gold comes in all sorts of colours. I've got several of them. This is the silver one. And you colour up your products, and I'll show you quickly how to do that. You can use it on paper, wood, metal, anything you like. And how you actually go ahead and do it, I'll just show you quickly on the butterfly. So this is my butterfly. It's a big pot of Treasured Gold, and it will last you for ages. I've had this a good 8 months now, and I've got hardly any used. So get a little brush, stenciling brush, dab a little bit on your brush, and then I always work it in the lid of my pot itself. And then all you do is you go ahead and brush it onto your product. Now, you only need a little bit, and do this on a spare piece of paper. Don't do it on your craft mats because it will stain them. So I think you can see that there. That's all you need to do. And then I tend to leave it just a little bit just to take off, and then bring it over to another piece of paper with a soft cloth, rub the worst off, which isn't a lot, and then that then is the same colour ready to go on your projects. So it's a great project, a great little add-on to change colours of things if you want to do it. You can distress around the edges with your paper and stuff with it. It's a lovely product to use. So that's Treasured Gold, and it comes in a variety of colours. So the best thing is to do a search on the internet for that. That's where I picked mine up. So as I said, I've gone ahead and covered my album. I've used one main piece all the way around, and I've done a decorative punch just around the edge like we did on the other album. As I say, I've added some metal embellishments. Once I've done those, because this paper I'm using on the main cover, I don't know whether you can see, has got embossing and glitter on it. I've actually stuck these on with my hot glue gun because I think that was the best thing to use. So I've stuck these on with a hot glue gun. I put some little perfect pearls here to do a little trail. I stuck the flowers on, layered those up, put some little jewels on. A couple of big hat pins. I've done a spider's web bow. I'll just show you some spider's web if no one's seen it before. It comes like this. I picked it up at a craft fair. It comes like this, and when you open it up it looks like this, and it's lovely for tying into knots, tying into bows. Don't think because it's quite a big product like that you can't cut it up. So it's a lovely product to use. So it's called Spider's Web. Comes in a variety of colours. Often when you have to buy it, you have to buy a whole big roll. That's why I tend to pick this type of thing up when I go to craft fairs, and you can just pick it up in bundles by the metre. So that's another little extra product I've used on there. So that's our cover. So now we're going to go ahead and make our spine now for this. Okay, so as I said, we're going to do a stack the deck for this album here today. So let me move that out of the way. So we get the score board in again. Okay, so for this hinge, I've got my page measuring 6 inches because my pages are measuring 6 inches. So let's just okay, so that's measuring 6 inches the same. Alright, so that's 6 inches. Now the first piece of paper I've got, my spine is 2 inches. The first piece of paper I've got is measuring 3 inches. So I'm going to score at 1/2 inch on both ends. Do it all hack-handed, really. I'm better off going that way. And I'm going to flip it over and do the same on the other side. Okay, so that's our first piece. So 3 inches across, and you go 1/2 inch in on both sides. The next piece I've got is measuring 2.5 inches, and I need to then come in at 1/2 inch on both sides. So I'm going to flip it over and do the same on the other side. In an awkward angle here today, I can't get over on this side very easily. Right, so that's our 2.5 inches scored in at 1/2 inch on both sides. I've then got a piece that's measuring 1.5 inches, and I'm going to do the same again. So we're going to go 1/2 inch in on both sides. Flip it over and do the same again. Okay, right, I'm now going to burnish our folds. You notice on this I've allowed 1/2 inch in between each page for the embellishments, and time you've added your photographs to this book as well, you'll need that bit of space on there. Okay, so let's burnish all these folds up. For this cardstock I'm using here, get people asking me, this cardstock that I'm using here for this project is Coordinations. So this is the one with the coloured core, but as you can see, even with scoring, I'm not getting any cracking on the paper at all. So the best thing, as I say, you can do is experiment with different cardstocks in your scoring board and with your score tool. So they're all nicely scored, so we can now go ahead and start attaching these. Okay, so I'll start with this one. So I get some tape, got some thick tape here. This is quite a strong tape. I'm just going up to the first score line. I would recommend using tape for this and not your wet glue, because this is the bit that's going to hold all your pages in its place. So we don't want them jumping about, so to say. Turn that piece over. Can't quite see the light one on the edge. Okay, that's the first one, so I'll just burnish that down to get a good stick, and then we can stick that down. Now, if you remember from the little video, I've done a video there again on hinge systems. I've done the stack the deck and the hidden hinge, how to make them easily. So you can always go and revisit that. I'll put the link to that at the bottom of the video. Okay, now this we need to just slightly put in the middle of here. Okay, because I haven't quite got I haven't got too much lapping over, if you're with me. You'll see what I mean. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to pull one half off and the other half off, and I'll show you how we can get it lined up without sticking it all down in one go, because once this sticks with this tape, it sticks. So if you pull back your top bit and make yourself 2 wings. Okay, don't leave this all attached, so we can start sticking this on first. Now I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. If you're still a bit unsure, you can add a bit of Pritt stick to this to give you a little bit more time to get it where you want it. I'm going to go straight in. I'm sort of eyeballing where I want it. I'm just going to stick that first bit down. What I'm doing now, I've got that first bit down, I'm just holding this bottom piece where I want it. Because if I don't hold that where I want it, it could still go offline, because you can still move it. So if you've got that top bit, line up so you've got the bottom bit where you want it. Hold your finger on it. Now I'm going to hold my finger this side so I can pull this one off. And then just pull it down. And that's now stuck. And then you can do the same with this side. And then all the way down. Oh, I've still got some stuck under there. That hasn't worked with that tape today, but that's what you do. My tape is torn, but not a problem, because I've got the other piece stuck down. I can just pull that off. That's it. So let me just run my bone folder over this. Okay, so that's the first 2 of my hinges. So now we're going to go ahead and stick the last one on. So that wide tape is going to be too wide this time. So I'm going to have to go in. I think I'm going to use some red line tape for this, because that's the best measurement I've got for this one. It's not going to be quite wide enough still, so I'm going to have to put 2 bits on. But this one is easier to match up. If I show you before I stick the other piece on, when you're matching your last piece, you just need to literally put it in between the 2. You put it on that score line. It fits in between. Okay. I'm going to take that off, because I need to overlap this now. It's the only trouble with this red tape, it is very sticky. This is what I'm going to use for my hinges here today as well. So if you don't have any of this red tape, I would recommend getting it. It's great for your mini books, for your spines, because it is that much more sticky to it that it will withstand the wear and tear on the spines of your mini book. So I would highly recommend getting some. You can look on the internet for it, or go into your crafts shops. They tend to sell it as an item that's normally readily available. Okay, it's not a little bit more expensive than the normal double-sided tape, but not overly expensive. Okay. Right, move that piece out of the way. Get this last bit of the spine stuck down. I find using a craft knife is easier to get this off. She says it doesn't want to come off today. Sorry people, it's playing up a bit today. Oh, it's gone really sticky. Playing me about because I'm filming. Let's try again. There we go. Sorry about that, people. Right, now we can go ahead and get this one stuck on. I'm just tucking those bits in there that I don't want to see. So I've just turned it over just to make sure I get it in the right place. I'm just now going straight in on the score line. It's stuck to my fingers, sorry. Going straight in on the score line and sticking that down. If you want to see how to make this hinge system in more detail, as I say, there is a separate video. So this is to stack the deck. Okay, I'm now going to mitre my corners because this will help with attaching it to my pages, because we're going to attach it to the pages as we go along. So mitre those corners. As I say, I'm going to use red tape here today to attach my book. So what I will also do at this stage is we will add the red tape. So if you get your red tape, because this is the perfect measurement for this. So we're going to get this and stick it down there. Go just past your score line. Okay. So it's ultra sticky, it's sticking to everything. So we just now need to go ahead and stick this. So go down to the bottom, just near your score lines, because this is how we're going to attach our hinges. So I'm doing this with you so you know that it can be done. Down. You could stick your tape on first and then mitre your corners if you find that easier. It's entirely up to you. What I'm doing is I'm cutting the diagonal, it's fitting the other one, so it's working out okay as well. So you can do it the two ways. This one here now, so that's that side done. So as I say, this book's got 4 hinges because the size of my spine. Everybody's will be totally different. Okay. So this last one. That's 3 done. As you can see, they lay nice and flat as well when they're being manoeuvred. Press that down. And piece on there. Start attaching this to our book. This is just a job easier done. As you can see, it's a bit of a fiddle. It's just best done out of your book. So I'm just going to go along with my bone folder. Because I'm using coordinations, and this cardstock's got a bit of a texture to it. This is just allowing the adhesive to get into those lines, so when I tear the backing off, hopefully, it will be a little bit easier. Okay, so that's our spine. So now we need to go ahead and put some tape on the back. So I'll just lay this so it lays flat. So I'm going to use my wide one for this. You can use red line for this if you find that easier. It's not a problem at all. So I'm just using the wide one as I have this available. Okay, just burnish that down. I'm going to pull this off. Now, if your tape fits, I would recommend doing the wing system again. But I want to run a piece down the middle as well, because I would recommend with this hinge, because the amount of weight we're putting on it, I would cover the back of that just with your tape. I'm sticking to my scissors now. Right. So we can now go ahead and get this stuck into our album and then start attaching our pages. I would stick your hinge in before you stick your pages, personally. So let's bring this in. Now normally I would decorate my album cover afterwards so it all lays nice and flat, but obviously today I've done it the other way around. But if you're doing it at home, I would decorate that afterwards. Now my album cover is measuring 6 3/4 inches long because I like to have a little bit of a gap around my pages. Now I haven't got too many pull out tabs, but I haven't got any pull out bottoms, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my pencil and make a mark. My pages are 6 inches long, so I'm going to come up just over 1/4 inch from the bottom. I'm going to make myself a mark so I know where I'm putting it. Okay. So with that mark then being at the bottom, making sure I get these where I need to get them in line. Just take your time with this bit. It is a bit fiddly, but do take your time. So I'm getting my score lines in between. Just checking where they're going. Just a little tad. Right, I'm quite happy I think now with that. Double check that side. No, let's move that top bit over a little bit more again. It is just worth taking your time because obviously once you've stuck your hinge down, your hinge is then down and you're not going to move it. Okay, right, I think I'm happy there now. So I'm going to stick this top bit down with my bone fold. I'm just going in between all the lines there. Right, now we can start pulling the rest of this paper away. I'm going to try and pull my middle piece out first. Just holding this up at this stage, as you can see. I'm now going to pull my wings out. And I'm going to tuck any little extras I've got in there down. That's where I want it to be. Now I can go in with my bone folder again. I can stick these right the way down. Just take your time to do this because this paper I'm using, as you can see, it's got a shine on it. It's got embossing on it. I just want to make sure my tape is fully stuck down. Okay. These little things, it's worth doing because then when your book's made, it's made. You don't want your book falling apart halfway through people looking at it. Okay. And then when you bring that up, this is where you just need to tease this. This is quite thick pattern paper I put on the outside, so it just needs a bit of teasing. And then I'm just going to attach these side pieces. I've made these side pieces purely because when I attach this outside cover, I didn't want you to see that piece of the paper, if you like, this piece of board. I didn't want that showing, so that's the only reason I've attached that side piece. So I'm going to just stick some tape on that. My thin one should be alright for that. I'm just going to go down here with this because then we're going to stick the paper over the top anyway. Burnish that down. I should have got my wider tape out. A bit of a time to adhere to this fancy paper. It's nice to have the fancy paper, but that's it, and then that folds. Just needs to have a little bit of time to give. There you go. Okay, so we'll do the same on this side. I'm going to turn it down this way though. just dropped my knife in the bin. Wasn't very clever, was it? Right, let's move all these bits out of the way and get a bit of muddle here. Right, so do the same again on this side. And we can start assembling our book. A bit harder on this side because I've got all my embellishments on the front of my book, but you will go ahead and embellish yours afterwards hopefully, so you won't have those same problems. So that sticks down on there, and then that will all come together. As I say, you've now put an extra element in the book, so it just needs time. The paper isn't cracking, as you can see. Just give it a little play, don't yank it, just give it a little play like that and suggest that it goes where you want it to go, so and it will. Okay, so we can now start attaching our pages to the book. So we do this in the same way as we did the other one. So I think what I might do is start this end. So because we're having pockets at the end, I'm going to go ahead in with this particular page at this end, because this is going to be stuck on here, so then I'm going to put those on there. Okay, so I'm going to go for pocket style 1. I'm working backwards, so I'm very sorry, but that's just the way I find it easier to go. So first thing we're going to do is going to take this tape off here. It will come off. I'm taking that tape off there. This is where the red tape sticks to you like anything. So I'm lining up my page, line it up where you want it, and then just lay it down. Okay, now this page has a pocket in it, so we need to make sure our pocket's going to fit. Yes, that will fit nicely in there, that will work. So we now need to then put tape along the bottom here and leave the top with nothing in it. Okay, so I'm going to go for a thin tape along the bottom. Go for that. I'm going to go for my red line tape. Sorry people, I'm going to go for red tape at the bottom here. So I'm going to stick that as close as I can to the bottom. And this is where this hinge system works very nicely for people, and it's easier to put together because we're not slotting pages on top like you do with an envelope album. I have done that, and that's very good for seasonal crafters, but it's not very good for beginners or non-crafters even. So take that tape off there, and I'm going to take the tape off this second hinge here. It will come off. The only trouble with this red tape, it's a pain to get off. I wish they'd do easy finger lift red tape, it'd be lovely. I'm going to tuck my little ends in if I've got any little tape ends, and then we're going to fold it back on itself. I might take my tags out. That one, take one of the tags out. So we're literally going to fold it back, so just make sure you take the time to line it all up. Get your bone folder, burnish along where we've done that sticky bit, and along the seam there, that's nice, and along this back here, that's your first page. So I'll pop that in there. Pop this in here, and then we can go on and do the next one. Don't worry if you think your pages are bobbling a bit to start with. The more you've played with your paper, I mean I'm using quite a thick pattern paper here today, but do not worry. Okay, they will lay flat the more they're played with. Okay, right, that's the second one off, so I'm going to put the other style now. I'm going to put page 2 style in here next. Okay, so I'm going to go in now. Line it up. This is why I like to work backwards, because then I can line it up and make it sure it's level with the one before. So I've got my levels the same. Push it back over on itself. do that little burnish down. Now this album isn't going to have any top or bottom pocket, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this straight down with the red tape. I'm using red tape for this because it's stronger. You can use your double-sided if you've got a good double-sided strong tape, but when you think some of the albums are going to get quite a lot of wary people looking at them, and especially if you're giving it away as a gift, as I say, you don't want it breaking halfway through, do you? So it's quite good to do this. Just burnish those down. Okay. And take the second bit off there and off here. We're going to do the same as we did before. We're going to lay our page back on itself. Oh, there's red tape. It's not want to come away. There we go. So now we're ready. We're going to fold it back on itself again. Just take your time. Happy that you've got it all level. Right, let's burnish that down. Okay, so that's page 2. So that's as easy as it is. I'm going to go ahead now and stick my other 2 pages, and then I'll come back with you and we'll stick the front and the back. Right, I've gone ahead and added the last 2 of my pages, and I've also gone ahead and added the front cover on this side. So I'm going to do the same on the back for you. So we'll just lay this all across. As you can see, the pages open beautifully and lay flat. So we'll go and do this. I've added a little ribbon as well for a closure. Don't have to add a closure, your personal choice. I'm just looking at the album and thinking, time I've got all my photographs in here, it's going to be quite thick. I've had a little count up, and without even using the little tags that are here, this album will take 24 photographs. And if you think it's a 6x6 album, that means you can add your 6x4 photographs either horizontally or vertically. So taking 24 photographs is quite a few photographs. That's a good day out, you know, an evening out, an event. So it's quite nice to give away as a gift or keep for yourself. I'm just going to add my ribbon here in the middle, just eyeballing it so it matches up. So I've just got some double-sided tape there on that side. And then this is the pocket that we're going to attach here. Okay, so the ribbon is going underneath this pocket, but not intruding with the front cover. So it's another way there again, you can add a ribbon without intruding on your front covers at all. So I've gone ahead and I've put double-sided tape on here ready. So we'll get all this off, and then we can get this last piece stuck down for our album. Last little bits off. I'm just taking these all off because this last piece actually will come on quite easily. So all I did with these pages for the covers, choose the page style you like. I've used page style 2, but you can use page style 1 if you prefer that. And then all you do is cut it up the middle, and then I've just rounded the 2 outside edges there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm lining it up with my others. This is the score line that we've got that's attaching this tiny little bit of cover here. So all I'm doing is I'm going to attach this just a little bit across from the score line, because I don't want too much interfering with the spine. So I'm just attaching that, line it up how I want it. Just take your time, as I say. Quite happy with that. Lay that down. Move that up a little bit. Happy with that. That's it. And then I've can take that mat out and I can stick that down. As I say, this is a little bit harder because the paper I'm sticking onto is glittered and embellished, and actually this paper on the top is the same, so I haven't made it very easy for myself on this project, but I like the paper and wanted to use a mixture of the plain and the embossed sparkly paper. So that's our last back page on the book. As we say, we've got the tags in here, so they're the little tags that go on the inside there, and the photo mat, put a butterfly on that one, so that fits in there. So as you say, if you photo mats, you know, to take 24 photos, you could even stick photos on here and add more, and I haven't even calculated for adding photos to the mats either. So, and then the book can come together, and we can just tie a little ribbon if you wish. So, and that's our book all finished. So that's this project. This is the folded pocket book. I'm going to call this style 2 because I have got another version as well coming up. So this is style 2 of the folded pocket book. So I do hope you've enjoyed it. As we say, if you open it up, you can look inside. You've got the front cover here all covered with photo mats and tags. You've got the style, this is style 2. So you've got little tags in here. I've just done a little doodle line around those. You can use those for journaling or photographs, your choice. And then on this one you've got photo mats in here and photo mats on the other side of there, and also another little tag. So there's plenty of spaces to put journaling and photographs. As I say, it takes 24 pictures in total. Just pull that tag there, I'll just put some ribbon through those, and it hasn't taken very well. And then this is for style 1, where we had the large photo mats again, either side. I put a little plaque there so you can put down what it is. There's another little tag there with a little paper clip that I've cut out. So that's another one, so put that in there. And then style 1 also had another photo mat in the top as well. So style 1's got the photo mat in the top, style 2 hasn't. So that's your pages. As you can see, opening up your album, it opens up nice and flat, all nicely finished off. So tie the ribbon to keep it closed. Don't have to put a ribbon closure on, your choice entirely. I've just put one on here because this is quite a feminine book with the flowers and the butterflies and the hat pins, so it just finishes that off as a nice project. So I'm Dawn from Dawn's Inspirations. If you wanted to have the measurements of how to put the pages together, I'll put a link at the bottom to my website, and if you go onto my website to see the album, I'll put the measurements down there for you. So I'm Dawn from Dawn's Inspirations. Thank you very much for watching, and bye bye for now.